where do you go to worship? Where do you go to be unveiled and to be real and to encounter God again? Go and be in places of formation and worship. We long for more of God, but put yourself in places where you can see God move. Secondly, where Jesus meets her, real encounters happen in real places. Verse 19 through 25. Sir, this conversation unfolds. The woman said, I see you're a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain. She points behind her. The well was outside Mount Gerizim. You Jews claim it must be in Jerusalem. Woman, Jesus says, believe me, a time is coming when you'll worship the Father neither in this mountain nor Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you know. Do not know. We worship what we do know. Salvation's from the Jews. Jesus is pointing to his own divinity, that the Old Testament pointed to his arrival. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. They're the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and truth. Pause there. We're going to be talking all month about what it looks like to worship in spirit and truth. But for the context of this John 4 moment, location matters. Like where you put yourself puts you in touch with the ability for deepening relationship. And Jesus points to Mount Gerizim. We have a slide of it here. It was this sacred place of Samaritan worship because they were cut off from travel into Jerusalem to worship there. Doesn't look like much for people from the Pacific Northwest. But Jesus is saying it's not really about place here or Jerusalem. It's about person. It's about the revelation that I am Jesus. He's crossing socioeconomic boundaries and gender boundaries and spiritual boundaries so that he could declare to her on purpose. He went there looking for her. He went there to see her. He went there to redeem her. He went there so she could know him. He went there to be worshiped. Where do you go to worship? Where do you go to be unveiled and to be real and to encounter God again? To sign up for a college-age retreat, or to youth to come to camp, or to come on Sunday mornings, or to show up to a Bible study, or to serve hungry people in our community meal. Like, go and be in places of formation and worship. We long for more of God, but put yourself in places where you can see God move. I mean, to put this in application of, a romantic relationship, I've been married to my wife for 27 years. And a date night or a date experience is where we're going to sit and talk. And we're going to connect. We're going to look each other in the eyes. We're going to eat good food. And we're going to be present to each other. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in the garage, cleaning the garage. This is date night, right? Because it's part of the house that we sleep in. I'm going to be outside cleaning the chicken coop. It's a date, right? Because I'm working for our family. No, get real and genuine. Encounter for worship starts in a place like, Jesus, I want more of you. And maybe that happens on the top of Crystal Mountain or on Puget Sound or just wherever you're at. Make space for encounter with Jesus. Speak the words, Jesus, I want to know you again, right now. Can you touch this hunger or this space in my life? Verse 24, it should be underlined in your Bibles, those of you who brought physical Bibles. This is the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. People of spirit and truth. People are honest and vulnerable and hungry and declaring, Jesus, you are the living water. This is who we long to be. When Jesus says, this is the kind of worshipers the Father seeks, we should be paying attention. Jesus, make us like her. And sometimes in Christian circles, we say, yeah, God just loves me as I am. He does, but he doesn't love to leave you where you are. If you're in a place of lacking transformation or loneliness or being ostracized or singleness, this woman had been with 5 different partners. Jesus is like, I love you too much. Just go. I don't want to upset. Just go back to where you came. Go back to whoever partner you're sleeping with right now. Go back. Don't even fill your bucket. It's fine. Jesus is like, I came that you would have life. You've heard that term, the come to Jesus moment. A come to Jesus moment is, by definition, a moment of revelation, a moment of truth. Someone speaks in your life, and it's often a place of pain or frustration. To change, to be different, to to encounter the life that's really life. And her come to Jesus moment, he's like, I have made you worthy, and I long to fill you up. Do not leave today without being able to name what you're hungry for and to consider how Jesus can fill you up in new or redeemed ways. Paul says it like this to his young protege, Timothy. He was sending him into the empire. They were planting churches. They were proclaiming Jesus, the real thing. And he says, Timothy, tell them, the Christians, in this way they'll lay up a treasure for themselves as a foundation for the coming age so that they may take hold of the life that's truly life, the Zoe life, the living water life. Where will Jesus meet you in this season, in this actual time? You're like, not today, Scott. Too much pain, too much hunger. Okay, at least be real and genuine in that space. But when will you turn to him, the living water who longs to fill you up? We make space with just the grayness of life. And God is longing for a church hungering for genuine encounter. There's a recent movie on Netflix called Jay Kelly, about a movie star, Jay Kelly, played by a movie star, George Clooney. And it's actually a haunting picture of the way we settle for a life devoid of intimacy and connection to our Maker. Jay Kelly, the writer, told a journalist, he said, I think for all of us, the movie hits because there's a gap between who we are deep down and who we present ourselves to be. So the movie asks, what's the point of success? Told by the narrative of this movie star who has everything and yet has nothing. At the end of the story, Jay Kelly has traveled to Italy and he's watching a montage of all of his success and all of his movies. But what's actually happening for him is he wants a do-over. He wants to live a life of real purpose. And at the end of the film, he uses this line that's been said several times during the film when an actor wants another take. And he just looks at the camera and says, can I go again? I'd like another one. Can I go again? How many of us get to the end of life to say, I want to go back and live it again? More relational, more authentic, more tapped into Christ and less about my own counterfeit gods. This is our point, friends. Worship helps us have real meaning and press against the meaninglessness of life. We worship to discover our authentic purpose.